Hello everyone and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. Breaking news over the weekend that the Telegraph reported was that Dyche is allegedly the frontrunner for the Nottingham Forest job. Yes, that same Nottingham Forest job that Ange Postecoglou only got last week, it feels like. But according to Telegraph, who are quite reputable when it comes to things like this, already Evangelos Marinakis, our owner, is lining up a replacement. Now, I've got a bit of a controversial take on this, and I'm not one of these who likes to seek controversy, but I'm going to say it. I think this is exactly what Forest need, and here's why. For starters, Ange Postecoglou cannot buy a win in the league. Unfortunately, the fans haven't taken to him. I was at the Michelin game where fans were singing "You Get Sacked in the Morning." Fans didn't want him in the first place. It felt like it was an appointment because it was Marinakis' mate and not because of anything he'd done in the league. I know he won the Europa League, and Spurs fans are going to tell me that, but unfortunately his league form was horrendous last season, and Nottingham Forest simply cannot afford to put all their eggs in the Europa League basket the same way Tottenham did. The fans haven't taken to Postecoglou, and unfortunately I just don't see it turn itself around. Our next three fixtures are Chelsea at home, Porto at home, and then Bournemouth, who Forest fans will tell you now, I will tell you now, we never beat. They're the only team, I think, since the year we came up, that we haven't beaten a Premier League season. We can't beat them. So that's potentially his next three games. That means he's no wins from 10. Well, then you're going to already be in the territory of having a replacement lined up. I know what people are going to say about Dyche and his style of football, and I completely understand that. However, Ange Postecoglou is a prime example of why Dyche is perfect. Because Ange Postecoglou has got a complex pressing and possession system. He cannot implement it because of how Forest's season is. Because our season is so Europa League, Europa League, so broken up, he's hardly having any time to work with the players. We have the international breaks where a lot of our players go away as well. He can't put this system into place. And this is why I think when you watch Forest on the pitch, we look disjointed, because there's elements of Nuno, there's elements of Ange in there. It's confused is what the word I was looking for. Better than meh. So, Dyche's going to come in. He's going to play a pretty simple style of football and not too dissimilar to Nuno, which is the style that this squad worked with all throughout pre-season. So they're going to be understanding of that. Because this is the problem, is you can't bring anyone in to replace Ange who's going to play another complex pressing system. People say about Thiago Motta or people like that. But if they come in, they're not going to have any time to put in what they want to put in place. And again, you're just going to have this confusing mesh of styles that's resulted in the results on the field. I also think Dyche would get the fans. Let's not forget, he came through Forest youth system. He understands Forest. He's a Forest fan. He's at Forest games quite regularly. He's not a Forest fan. He says he's not, but he's at Forest games quite regularly. He lives in the area. He'd get the fan base. I don't care what anyone says, he would. He'd get the fan base. And listen, it might be harsh to say to Dyche, right, we're going to use you as an interim to the end of the year, keep us safe, do as well as you can in Europe, and then we'll get rid of you. But that's probably, it does him favours as well. It helps his stock rise. So, realistically, it's a win-win for both. I think Forest have now got to accept the Ange experiment. I cannot see it turn its way around. And like I've said to people, other Forest fans, we cannot afford, we are not in a position to just focus on the Europa League. We're not a Spurs. We haven't got the squad quality, I don't think. And also, Ange Postecoglou, I think, benefited massively last season. The fact that bottom three were the three that came up and were horrendous. This year it looks like there's going to be a few teams down there. West Ham have just hired Nuno. I think Wolves are probably down, but they're picking up a point or two here and there. Sunderland are giving it a go. The three that have come up are all giving it a go. Have come up and you're thinking, we're going to give this a go, which is good for the league, but it's meant that teams like Forest cannot afford to rest on their laurels. We're seeing it at West Ham as well. We're seeing it at Wolves. You can't just rest on your laurels in this season. It's a controversial take, I know, but I just think that he's potentially exactly what Forest need at the moment. He's going to get the fan base. It's going to be a simple style of football that the squad are going to be used to. And then at the end of the season, if we stay up, because I'm sorry, I do think that's where we are now, where we might just need to just stay up. If that's where we are, he gets us safety, mid-table finish. We go into Europe. We're not going to win the Europa League. I'm sorry, we're not. People can say what they want. I don't think we're going to win it. And then get as far as we can in that. I mean, he might win it, and then he might prove me really wrong. Then you give him the job. But the Ange experiment isn't working. I see a lot of people writing off Dyche, but perfect for the situation. Anyways, guys, let you know what you guys think. Some of you might be in favour of giving Ange still backing Ange. I must say, I'm not a fan of already having a replacement lined up. And I've said in my video last week that I think a lot of this is on Marinakis. It's not on anyone else. And Edu as well, because the signings we've made are poor. But, and again, had nothing to do with Ange. I'm not entirely putting the blame at Ange's door, and I do actually feel sorry for him to an extent, because I think he's been stitched up a bit by his mate. I think he's been left with a squad of players that he didn't want or didn't sign. I don't think Nuno wanted either. I think it was Edu who wanted them. He's going to try and implement a completely polar opposite style to Nuno, and he's going to do it with a squad that keeps getting the week broke up. He's going to do it essentially in one training session a week. It was never going to work. But now I'm panicking as a Forest fan as to where we are in the league. That's the truth of the matter. But anyway, let us know what you guys think as always. Please like, comment and subscribe. I would really appreciate anything you guys do. Thank you very much as always. Have a great day.